Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Metro Realm, and welcome to DMA Live. I have done a little bit of work off camera, and this is the first proper game cleaning stream that I am doing since I've done all of these little changes and little additions. And this is the first sort of test run of all of the stuff that I am changing and putting into effect. So, firstly, let's get on over here to the full chat here. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you all. You might notice that I got the background animated finally. So we got little twinkly stars. We got the TMR emblem up at the top, which is nice and shiny and finally moving again. Now, I do have a couple of housekeeping things that I want to address, and I promise I'm going to keep this extremely brief because I want to get right back into this. First of all, tonight we are going to be recording. So all of the scenes that have this little TMR emblem, I will only be showing on a stream VOD. So the recording is not going to have any of these scenes. Specifically, that is this scene, the one that we're on right now, and then the intermission scene, which has intermission music and whatnot. I'll talk about that in a little bit. For your consideration, I'm not going to be recording the chat or the alerts for tonight. That means that any scene that has that shiny little TMR emblem is perfectly safe. You can chat, you can do whatever alerts that you want, and it will show up on stream. Any tips that you send tonight will still be greatly accepted, but I will be playing those alerts during the intermission scenes before I take my quick little break. Also, any follows that I get will be played in between my recording segments. Speaking of which, I do have one follow alert, and this is kind of my own will and volition. So welcome Kilometrus officially to DMA Live. I forgot to add that in earlier, but Kilometrus is now a part of our troop here. Other than that, it's just my usual spiel of notes and alerts here. Thank you very much as well, Kilometrus, for following. If you would like to join Kilometrus in our follower goal for right now, we have a special goal for recruiting 50 followers in order to play through the bonus episode of Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. That is Turnabout Reclaimed. Also, we have 2 additional incentives that are found below the stream, which I will read off for you right now. During the playthrough of Apollo Justice Trilogy, if we reach 100 followers, I will also be playing the bonus episode of Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. That is Turnabout Time Traveler. And lastly, if we reach 150 followers, on Easter Sunday only, I will be doing a special stream, which will probably start about 6 or 7 p.m., truth be told. But we'll be doing a special screening of Asinine Attorney, and it's 4 videos, 2 episodes of each will be played on stream. So my, of course, call to action for the game cleaning streams is let's work to see if we can accomplish these goals, as they are going to be changing in the next month when we announce the next game on the list for cleaning. Beyond that, regardless if you can chat with us or not tonight, thank you very much for dropping on by. I do have a special offer, of course, for those of you that are hiding out in the chat. If you would like a free Lurkers shout-out once per stream, Mr. Millennium, if you were there, you may do so right now. You can type in !LURK in the chat, and there you go. As Ben has dutifully demonstrated, you can get an audible thanks for dropping on by, such as you, Mr. Ben the Millennium. Thanks for hanging on out. We appreciate you tuning in while you do whatever it is that you do. Also, for those that are watching live, I do also have a bots channel that will be featuring all of our streams replayed onto YouTube. If you're happening to watch us over there, of course, I do appreciate you hanging out and joining us for our live shows, which For this month, our live shows are on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for game cleaning, as well as a couple of select Sundays this month. We'll be starting roughly about 3 to 3:30 Central Standard Time in the US. Speaking of our schedule, for the upcoming week, our schedule looks to be as follows. Tonight, we are blasting back into the Apollo Justice Trilogy, Part 8, Turnabout Countdown, which is the first episode of Dual Destinies. That, of course, will be starting here after all of my announcements and comments for this pre-stream. Thursday, we'll be reaching a monster of a turnabout. Part 9 of the Apollo Justice Trilogy will be starting at 3 p.m. If that does not happen on Thursday, the backup will be the day following on Friday, the 8th. Wednesday, there will not be any streams, unfortunately, due to some scheduling conflicts. And on Saturday, we're going to be playing Turnabout Academy, where they missed an opportunity to have a proper stream pun for that. That is, again, starting at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and we'll be going for both of those streams until the episode is complete. So it could take us 4.5 hours, it could take us 6 to 9 hours. Then, the following week is going to be a little bit hectic. Next Sunday, I'm going to be doing a double duty stream. We're going to be doing some Minecraft Survival early, which will be about noon to 2 p.m. Central. And then 6 to 9 will be the Board of Directors, which will be playing some Mario Party 7, as I have found out. So, that is the initial plan for everything. And then next Tuesday, of course, we'll be back here doing the Apollo Justice Trilogy here at DMA Live. I do also have one additional shout-out for this stream, and it is brought to you by none other than the Metro Realm itself. Our community Discord server for the Metro Realm is now open once more to the public. Access to the server is available via typing in the command !Discord in the chat, and you will get a visible link there that you can click on to join via our website, themetrorealm.net/Discord. Outside of that, I do understand that I have been talking non-stop for about the last 5 to 10 minutes, but I feel it is time for us to get right back into the trilogy, shall we? And in fact, actually, to pause the music and put this on the proper stream channel that we're actually going to be playing. Because you might have noticed, first of all, I need to go and hide this. But we have a new background for whenever I screw something up and the Shadowcast is offline. This is a background that we received upon completion of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. And then, of course, over here, we have our game, which I'm hiding right now on camera, but turning that back on will bring us right back in to the game right where we left off for the most part. So, couple other disclaimers. First and foremost, yes, I have done some shopkeeping, and we're going to have a couple of different things. You might notice as well that this little character down in the bottom corner has been moved all the way down to the bottom corner. And I do have a little button command that can basically shut me up and make me talk to you telepathically. No, in all serious, I have found a way to stop my character from talking, so that way I can better distinguish when I am saying stuff out of the game, and then when I am reading voice lines, as I'm not going to be emphasizing too much on the voices anymore. So, when I'm reading a voice in-game, like this game supports an autosave feature, please do not turn off the console when the icon above is on screen. That means that I am reading stuff in the game, and then when you see me talk and bobble up and down, that means that I am hanging out and having a lovely chat with you all. So, with that said, I feel it is time for me to hit the recording and start up Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy once again. Alrighty. So I need to go and hide myself right off the start because I've got some fancy stuff that has to happen, first and foremost. We have an anime cutscene now that we get to play through. So here it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. This is part of a 3-game set that I have been playing live on stream with you all. And in fact, this is the first episode that is being recorded to the main channel, DanMetroArnold. So, for those who don't know, this game features 3 games in the series. This is games 4, 5, 6 of the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, and Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. I played through all of the parts of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney live on DMA Live, and tonight we are actually starting the first chapter of Dual Destinies live on stream as well. So, with that said, we've got a couple of different things that I want to share with you all. First and foremost, we have some special costumes exclusively available. We have the old school suit, the regular default Phoenix Wright, as well as the nostalgic sweater. I'll be showing through those in due time, as I do have some strategic points that I'm going to be showing for those as well. For now, I'm going to keep Phoenix to default. I did do a little bit of tinkering on the camera just to see how he looked and everything. Everyone's going to be default for the most part, as we'll see a little bit more specifically of Apollo's street-style clothes in a little bit, and then Athena's famous Legal Academy uniform at a later time. Also, before I begin, I do want to say that we have 3 characters now, one of which, of course, is not a character that I'm going to be very comfortable with reading voice lines for. So I do wholeheartedly apologize for that. But Athena Sykes is the new defense lawyer, making her first appearance in this game. Will she be able to defend our clients to the very end? We shall see. Also returning in this chapter, we have Phoenix Wright, our favorite defense lawyer from the original trilogy, is back in action. How he ends up getting his badge, we will find out throughout the course of this trilogy, or this chapter of games. And then Apollo is not exactly defending in this particular case. He's another of the defense attorneys at the Write Anything Agency, and he was defending a client in the courtroom when a particular incident occurs, resulting in the injuries that he will be having, and we will be showing in a little bit. For now, we are starting a brand new game, and I will show up on screen here after the cutscenes. So here it goes.
These are dark times, where the law has been reduced to rubble, and it's up to us to restore it to its former glory. Yeah, I know what you mean. It looks like your target finally decided to make a move. Don't you worry. I've got a trusty new partner on board. She's been with us for half a year, though I can hardly believe it. Anyway, her power will be our greatest weapon.
Are you alright, miss?
Yeah, it's for this very reason I returned. Time to bring it to an end.
Episode 1 Turnabout Countdown. Best thing about bombs is how they erase and destroy without discretion. December 17th, 9:22 a.m. District Court, Defendant, Lobby number 5.
Not feeling nervous at all. It's amazing what a girl can get used to. Even a tense atmosphere like this is no biggie.
You doing okay, Athena?
Oh, Apollo! Yeah, you're doing great. Like, I'm a little too great.
Oh yeah? Well, that's good to hear. Although, I could have sworn I heard your voice crack for a second there.
Oof!
Not transparent, huh?
Cracking? No, my voice isn't cracking. Nerves of steel here, I tell you. This is Apollo Justice. He's a fellow lawyer at the office I work for.
Apollo is the lead for the defense on this case, but I'm going to be there at the bench with him, doing what I can to help out. I'll do whatever it takes to defend Junie. Speaking of steel, how are you holding up? That explosion really did a number on you. I'm just happy that you're okay, Athena. Although, I can't pretend I had no connection to this case. That's why I'm going to see to it that Juniper's name is cleared. And I'm sure you much feel the same way.
You got that right. I won't rest until Junie is completely cleared of all suspicion.
Oh, Athena. Thank you for doing this for me.
Junie! Hey, are you okay?
Sorry about that. I always seem to go into coughing fits whenever I get nervous. This kind of thing never happens. Only in the forest, though. This is Juniper Woods. She's my dear childhood friend, and she's also our client in this case. The news keeps repeating that Junie is an alleged bomber.
That's ridiculous.
There's no way Junie would do anything like that. I brought you a little snack, Athena.
just a little something from my garden. Hey, thanks! So, is this an orange or a tangerine? It's an orange. My grandma says that orange is the color of strength and endurance. Oh, I get it! A strength for the child, right? Junie, you're always so good to me. Jeez, look at me, standing here clutching an orange to my chest with tears in my eyes. Well, don't you worry. We'll be so powerful in there, they won't know what hit him. Right, Apollo? Yeah, that's right. Come what may, this is one trial we just can't lose. Apollo! Uh-oh. Well, we're off to a good start. Apollo! Blood is seeping through his bandages. One of his wounds must have reopened. All this time he was trying to put on a brave face, but he was really overdoing it.
Mr. Justice!
Huh?
The trial is about to start, sir. Please proceed to the courtroom.
What? Now? But Apollo's in no state to defend. I have to defend Juniper. What are we gonna do? The trial is about to start with or without us. There's only one other option I can think of at a time like this. But even if I called him now, he'd never get here in time. No, wait. There's something else I can do. Apollo, give me all the evidence for the case.
Huh?
What are you going to do? Bailiff,
Yes, miss.
the defense would like to submit a substitution of attorney petition. Tina! You're not seriously. You just concentrate on getting better. I'll defend Junie.
All by yourself?
Athena, stop for a second. Think about what you're saying.
You've never once taken a case on alone before, right?
No hay problema. I can handle it. I think. But I guess it's really up to you, Junie. Would you be okay with me taking over? Sure. I believe in you, Athena. And that's enough for me. You're worried for me, aren't you? To be honest, I'm pretty nervous too. I think my heart might just burst out of my chest. You're in no shape to stand at the bench now, so you'll just have to leave it to me. Alright, I can see your mind's made up anyway. I hate it that I can't be there, but I know that you'll give your utmost to defend Juniper. You bet I will! Rest assured of that. My name is Athena Sykes. I'm still just a newbie, but I'm a lawyer. This is only the second time I've taken the lead in a defense case. It'll be the first time I stand up there alone, though. But I have to do this. And I'm definitely not about to let anything bad happen to Junie. I'd like to state for the record that I've got a couple of things that I want to say really quickly before we continue. The first episode of this game starts out with a normal trial. A bomb is ticking. Thankfully, everyone is able to get out before it explodes. The courtroom, however, is in ruins. Athena Sykes, the game's new defense lawyer, makes her first appearance, and a familiar face, Phoenix Wright, will make his return to the courts after being allowed to practice law again. How he gets his badge, we'll have to see when we reach 50 followers on DMA Live. But for now, let's get to this case. The case happened on December 16th between 8 and 11 a.m. in courtroom number 4. The victim, Candace Arm, died from blunt force trauma to the back of the head, as we'll soon see. The defendant, Juniper Woods, is Athena's childhood best friend. She grew up in the forest and lives with her grandmother. She stands being accused for the courtroom bombing that resulted in the death of the victim. Defending her is Athena Sykes,
as well as Phoenix Wright later on, although Apollo Justice was supposed to be taking the lead as a defense attorney. The prosecutor is none other than Gaspin Payne, the younger brother of Prosecutor Winston, very smug and full of himself, not unlike his brother. What will happen when the court convenes in courtroom number 5? We shall see in this next little bit. Court is now in session. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Juniper Woods. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is also ready, Your Honor. Uh-huh. And what is the meaning of this? I was under the impression that Mr. Red Monkey would be my opponent today. Yes, well, a substitution of attorney petition was submitted just a few moments ago. Due to the explosion in the courtroom yesterday, Mr. Justice is unable to proceed. I see. Not at all surprised he used that as an excuse to run away. With me as an adversary, who wouldn't want to feign illness in order to escape? What? The nerve of that guy. Give him a piece of my mind. Well, I would if I wasn't so nervous. Jerk. Jerk? No! Richard! Is my hearing getting worse? I could have sworn I heard the defense say something just now. No, you didn't hear anything at all, especially not for me. How odd. I could have also sworn I heard something. Oh, that would be my indispensable partner, Widget. He sometimes blurts out when I'm thinking. Well then, if that's the case, then it's a clear contradiction to what you just stated. Contradiction? You just stated that you said nothing. However, if that device of yours says what you're thinking, then you indeed said I was. What was it? Elegance at work? Yep! Frickin' jerk. Anyway, what does it matter if it's a red monkey or a yellow monkey facing me? No fresh out of law school rookie can defeat this witness. Mr. Payne, I believe that's enough. Let us get back to the case. Of course, Your Honor. I'm more than ready to show this little girl why they call me the rookie humiliator. He really is an arrogant jerk. Arrogant jerk? Miss Sykes, if you continue to insult the prosecution, I will remove you from this court. Jack? Very sorry. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. Now then, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, if you please. Thank you, Your Honor. Now then, the incident occurred yesterday here at this very courthouse in courtroom number 4. At the time, the trial for a certain bombing was being held in courtroom number 4. Yes, I was presiding over that trial as well. And Mr. Justice was there as... Oh, wrong line. And Mr. Justice was there as a lawyer for the defense. The bomb that was being presented as evidence suddenly went off during the trial. It was a terrible incident, and courtroom number 4 was completely destroyed. Fortunately, we were able to start evacuation procedures before the explosion occurred. Just a few seconds more, and it would have turned into a horrific loss of human life. But here was, in fact, one death, was there not? There was, in fact, one death, was there not? And that is correct, Your Honor. When courtroom number 4 was examined after the blast, the body of Detective Canazon was discovered. She was to take the stand as a witness later in the trial. I suppose she wasn't able to evacuate in time. What a terrible tragedy. I must admit, I stumbled at least 10 times myself before I was able to escape. Maybe the court should see about getting me in shorter robes. The victim's body was found near the entrance to the courtroom. I suspect she stayed until the very end to help guide the others out safely. It
Your Honor, allow me to submit as evidence the victim's autopsy report and details about the bomb. Arm's autopsy report has been added to the court record. And the stuffed animal bond has been added to the court record. Okay, I know how this works. All evidence for the trial is filed in the court record. Yes, in the court record we can check using this fancy little doodad. When we want to check something out, we'll just hit this button and open up the court record like so. As for what specifically we want to look at, well, let's take a look at specifically some of this information here. So, stuffed animal bomb, time bomb that was destroyed in the courtroom. It was hidden inside a stuffed animal when it was detonated. And then cause of death, trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. Time of death, between 8 and 11 a.m. And I completely forgot to unmute during all of that, but oh well. This is my Esper-esque self. There we go. I know this is going to get really complicated, but that's the whole idea, is I'm going to try to chime in with stuff from time to time as necessary. A brand new shiny badge. Oh, you can't examine it. Dang. Meanwhile, we've got Apollo Justice, Juniper Woods, Gasp and Pain, and Candace Arm. Alright. Here we go. You better take a peek later. We already just did. Now then, please call the accused to witness stand. I'm off to one rocky start already. Defendant, are you feeling all right? You're looking a bit pale. I'm so sorry. I was feeling a bit weak when I first arrived here at the courthouse. But I'm all right. Junie's really giving it her all. I'd better make sure I do the same. If we could please proceed. Your name and occupation, defendant. Juniper Woods. I'm a high school student. Miss Woods, can you confirm you were in the courthouse on the day in question? Yes, I came to know Apollo Justice through my friend Dina. And so, I was there yesterday to watch his trial on my support. Something's wrong. Julie's really scared. Did you know I'm also known as the defendant humiliator? It looks like I have yet another chance to show everyone how I earned that moniker. Does Americans know no bounds? To protect Junie no matter what. Hey, you arrogant Prosecutor Payne! What is it? Do you want me to demonstrate why I'm known as a rookie humiliator instead? Prosecutor Payne, Junie is telling the truth. Mr. Justice also backed up her claim when we saw him in the defendant lobby. And Junie, he said that he was glad to get the Lotus Root we gave him too. He was? My grandma says Lotus Root is good for your eyes. She says it can even help you see into the future. You can? Well, then that's a perfect present for a lawyer. Oops, if that's true, I guess he must not have eaten them. A sweet, meek girl like this, pulling the courtroom to bits? I must say it's very hard to believe. Objection! Now, Your Honor. Don't let her seemingly innocent appearance fool you. The defendant had a motive for committing this crime. That's not true. I don't have any kind of motive. And I didn't even know the lady who was killed. Yeah, you admit the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and the defendant. However, that doesn't matter. The only thing that does is her objective was the destruction of the courtroom number 4 itself. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Why in the world would Miss Woods want to do that? That's a very good question coming from a novice such as yourself. But first, a question for the defendant. Have you ever been brought up on false charges?
Uh-oh. What? Why, yes. Yes, I have.
And did that experience cause you to have a grudge against the court system?
Objection!
Objection! Now wait just one moment. Is that kind of thing if that kind of thing was a motive for blowing things up, then every one of our clients would turn into bombers.
That's a valid point. We wouldn't have a single courthouse left standing in the land.
I concede the accused isn't the only one who might bear resentment against the courts. But Ms. Woods is the only person who could have committed this crime. Why? Because we have found some decisive evidence that proves the defendant's guilt. Decisive, huh? I'll believe it when I see it. It involves a very unique aspect of the bomb itself, Your Honor.
Oh, I think we know. Except we can't really examine it, but oh well. And what exactly was so unique about it?
Why don't we have Miss Sykes answer that question? Huh? Me? I notice you appear to be very nervous, and well, gentleman that I am, I'd like to offer you the chance to gain some confidence with such an easy question. Really? What a thoroughly unpleasant man. Ellis for loser. What did it just say? Nothing. Not a single thing. Widget, you have got to shut the frost up. Now, let's see. What was I supposed to do at a time like this? Oh, I know. The court record. Yeah. The court record that we've already looked at multiple times. The information that I need is somewhere in the court record.
Alright, Miss Sykes, let's hear your answer. What was unique about the bomb that blew up the courtroom? Was it because it was A, in Apollo's briefcase, B, in the judge's pocket, or C, inside a stuffed animal?
So, you can do whichever of these three if you want, but obviously you're going to get ridiculed for the first two. The correct answer is obviously it was stuffed inside an animal. Mr. Payne, what kind of simpleton do you take me for? It was stuffed inside a stuffed animal. Its evil intentions covered up by a cute exterior. Very good. Have a cookie. The bomb that went off in the courtroom was indeed hidden inside a stuffed animal. There. How do you like that? Not bad, huh? I am fine. Just like I said from the start. I can do this.
Yes, as I recall, the bomb was inside a stuffed animal the whole time. I never even got to take a look at it. But what connection does this impish element have with the defendant?
The answer to that question lies in another piece of evidence, which I have here, Your Honor.
And what, pray tell, is this? It appears to be a little singed.
It's a tale, Your Honor. The tale of a poor victim of the explosion.
This is incredible. Are you saying it's Detective Arm's tale?
Oh, yeah, I forgot how incompetent the judge tends to be. I need a sec here. All right. Clearly, it is not Detective Arm's tale. We know better than that. But clearly, someone else doesn't. Your Honor is so very close, but no. It belongs to the stuffed animal. It's called the Phony Fanty. A rather unpleasant name, if you ask me.
He is a mascot for a campaign to eliminate false evidence and false charges, is he not?
Exactly. His motto is, phony evidence is just trunked up. That's so wrong on so many levels. The Phony Fanty's tail is made of vinyl cloth, and we found something very interesting on its surface. The defendant's fingerprints. Uh-oh. What? Phony Fanty provided the prosecution with all the evidence we needed. It clearly proves that the accused handled the bomb. Keep! That doesn't make any sense. Why would Ginny's fingerprints be on it? That does appear to be pretty irrefutable evidence. The court accepts it into evidence. Pony Fanny Tail has been added to the court record. Again, that might be something we might want to take a look at real quick. While the judge is asking about Miss Woods, a piece of a stuffed animal that the bomb was inserted to, the defendant's fingerprints were found on it. Again, can't exactly examine it. So here we go. Ms. Woods, do you have an explanation for this? How about you, Miss Sykes? Do you have any plausible explanation to refute this decisive piece of evidence? Well, I can't think of a single thing. Something Jimmy's sake. If you can't produce an answer, we can always go straight to the ruling if you prefer. Heck, no! I'm saying something fast! Oh no! I can't get my voice to work. No, little times. I overcame this already. Maybe I'm still not ready to stand in court?
As you can see, there is no room for debate.
Objection!
Why, it's you!
And here comes the cavalry! About time you shut up, right? Sorry it took me so long to get here, Athena. Paul explained the whole thing to me over the phone. He asked me to come help you out in this place. Thanks for coming. I hate to admit it, but I was having a real rough time of it. Oh, I don't know. I think you were doing just fine, all things considered. You hung in there, giving me enough time to get here. Now, let's turn things around. You got it, boss. Ho, ho, ho! Look who showed up out of the blue. If it isn't Mr. Phoenix Wright, you always manage to surprise me. Your Honor, Mr. Payne has called for an early ruling, but I believe there are still many things that need to be deliberated. How did Miss Wood's fingerprints wind up on the stuffed animal tail? How was the bomb even detonated? Until these questions are answered, I assert it's impossible for a fair ruling to be made. You are absolutely right. Let us continue from where we left off. I assume you have no objections, Mr. Payne? Not at all, Your Honor. Miss Woods really looks like she's having a hard time. She's really struggling, Mr. Wright. I get the sense she's afraid of a courtroom itself. Because of yesterday? Yeah, it was understandably very traumatic for her. Here she is back at the courthouse again. So great. I'd like to make a request, Your Honor. If at all possible, I'd like to have Miss Woods rest in the lobby. Given the defendant's condition, very well, I grant special permission. You go get some rest, Ginny. Leave the rest to us. Okay, thank you.
sorry about this. Phoenix Wright. I've been looking forward to meeting you. It's been a while, Mr. Payne. You're more clueless than I'd heard. I do believe you mean, how do you do? For I am Gaspin Payne. I'm the younger brother of your long-standing rival, Winston Payne. What? Long-standing rival? When were we ever rivals, let alone long-standing? You'll see, Mr. Wright. I will cleanse Winston of the disgrace he met with at your hands. Looks like this royal pain is going to be as thoroughly unpleasant as the other. Your Honor, the prosecution would now like to call a decisive witness to the stand. This witness will testify as to how the accused detonated the bomb in the courtroom. Very well. Please call your witness, Mr. Payne. Also, I'm going to state for the obvious here. Basically, I'm just going to read off this specific part because I didn't get the voice mod figured out in time to do the robot voice. Sorry. Witness, your name and occupation, if you please. Witness. Name, Ted Tanati. Occupation, bomb disposal specialist. Oh my, what a strange robotic voice you have. Speech synthesis via typing. It is the same as me talking. Sounds exactly like a robot. Can't you speak in a normal manner? I can. But I do not like to speak. Speaking is inefficient. Energy expenditure. Speaking greater than typing. Understand. You're an odd witness. Mr. Tanati was in charge of the bomb for the trial. Was there when it went off. Being a Bob Squad specialist, do you have any relation to the victim? Negative. I first met the girl while on this job. Many people are employed by the police. I know only a fraction of them. However, I was shocked when I first discovered the body of the victim. Shocked? I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I prepared to ensure safety to prevent any of them discovering a dead body. So he was the first to discover the body, was he? He's here to testify about the circumstances surrounding the moment of the explosion. Very well. The court will now hear Mr. Tanati's testimony. But at the very least, show this court some respect and remove that base guard witness. Witness testimony for when the bomb went off. Woo! And speaking of things going off, there goes my Switch. There we go. The bomb was originally disarmed by me. Yes. Right. Actually, do I have... I might just do a quick little boot back to this point. Such professionalism. Alright. Very well. Please call your witness, Mr. Payne. Don't worry, guys. We'll just cut at this point, so... Alright. So again, we're not going to be reading the robot voice for this. Definitely did not have a situation where I accidentally did something. So, here goes nothing. Over this, your name and occupation, please. Witness? Name, Ted Donati. Occupation, bomb disposal specialist. Oh my, what a strange robotic voice you have. Speech synthesis via typing. It is the same as me talking.
He sounds exactly like a robot.
Can't you speak in a normal manner?
I can. Can. But I do not like to speak. Speaking is inefficient. Energy expenditure, speaking greater than typing. Understand.
What an odd witness. We have had plenty of witnesses in the Ace Attorney series that have been far weirder. Trust me.
Mr. Tenati was in charge of the bomb for that trial and was there when it went off.
Being a bomb squad specialist, do you have any relation to the victim?
Negative. I first met the girl while on this job. Many people are employed by the police. I know only a fraction of them. However, I was shocked when I first discovered the body of the victim.
Shocked?
I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but I ended up discovering a dead body.
So he was the first to discover the body, was he?
He is here to testify about the circumstances surrounding the moment of the explosion.
Very well. The court will hear Mr. Tenati's testimony. But at the very least, show this court some respect and remove that face guard witness. Now witness testimony for when the bomb went off. Sorry, I might leave this in actually, but in a blooper cut, I accidentally kicked the switch over the first take that it did this, which prompted us to backtrack a little bit. Anyway, yeah, when the bomb went off, here goes.
The bomb was originally disarmed by me, then transported here as evidence. Bomb name HH3000, operated by a timer or with a remote. I was watching from the gallery when I suddenly became alarmed. I saw that the bomb's timer was counting down.
So even though the bomb was supposed to be disarmed, it somehow got switched on?
Precisely. Activating the timer is very simple. 1. Connect wires. 2. Switch on timer. A monkey could do it. I am sure even you would be able to, Mr. Wright. I guess I makes you the blue monkey in this barrel of fun, boss.
I'd like to begin my cross-examination. Huh? Mr. Tenati, what is that?
HH3000, aka a bomb.
A bomb? Quick, googly moogly! Yarg! Mr. Tenati, I demand that you disarm it this instant.
Disassembly complete. 5.3 seconds. 0.2 seconds short of my personal best.
Are you trying to give me a heart attack? I'm not exactly a spring chicken, you know.
This is an exact replica of the HH3000. It is used to practice disarming bombs. Disarm equals success, explosion equals failure.
An exact replica of the bomb that exploded, is it? So that's what it looked like.
I submitted a photograph of the real bomb taken just before the trial. Dimensions: 10 inches height by 10 inches wide by 10 inches diameter. Weight 12 pounds. A perfect replication.
Your bomb does appear to be a very good copy indeed.
Yes, however, I cannot replicate the detonation mechanism. It has a very puzzling wiring setup. It is regrettable I could not replicate it.
Witness, that's enough. There's no need to replicate anything here.
HH3000 bomb has been updated in the court record.
And now, the defense will begin their cross-examination. Where's Miss Sykes gone to?
Athena! Hey, Athena!
Athena, you can come out now.
Okay, Mr. Wright, let's get to work.
Guess you were pretty scared, huh?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. It was about the boat.
Hey, put a sock in it, Widget. I love this little doodad. As transparent as ever. Now, let's see. Where were we? We were at the cross-examination. Oh, a cross-examination, of course. She seems disoriented. I wonder if she's alright. Maybe I should ask Athena if she remembers how to do cross-examine to help her focus. It doesn't matter either way, but for the sake of argument, I will do this just to be nice. And again, to help Athena focus. Athena, you remember how to conduct a cross-examination, right? What? Of course I do. What kind of lawyer would I be if I didn't? No. Don't get upset, but what do you say to humoring me with a little review? You got it. Basically, examine a witness's testimony and compare it against the court record, searching carefully for inconsistencies. Hang on. Alright, I have paused just a little bit. I am up as loud as I can go right now, Navasa. Also, did I seriously post that in the wrong channel? What? I clicked Twitch. Why did I post there? God damn it. Alright, well, fine. There. Yeah. I clicked Twitch. I don't know why I did that. Okay. I mean, yeah. That is weird. Alright. Okay. Going back into recording mode, thanks for the heads up. So for those that are streaming, we had a bit of a technical goof. You know what, Frosted, I think that qualifies. Yeah. Is it plus ED or is it just regular? I think it's just regular. Yeah. Nope, it's ED. There we go. Thanks for that, by the way. Alright, I'm gonna mute and go back to recording mode now. Alrighty, had to sort something out there. So this green text represents witness's testimony. You can use the left stick to advance to the next statement of their testimony. And to go back to the previous statement. Pay close attention to the testimony. We can keep an ear out for anything strange. And be prepared to present our case via the court record. The court record contains information on all the evidence that we have at our disposal. We can use that to look for facts that conflict with what the witness has said, and present any counter-evidence we find to refute their statement. And what if nothing conflicts with the witness's testimony? Well, that's when we press the witness for more information. Find any inconsistencies or lies in the testimony and reveal them to the court. That's what cross-examination is all about. Looks like you remember it just as I taught it. It was a nice refresher course for me. If you can't find any contradictions, and you flub up too often, don't be afraid to ask me for help. Oh, hang on. I am reminded of something. I am reminded. This game has a consult mode, which Athena has brought up. If we happen to screw up too many times during this game, a little consult mode will be available that we can go in and talk with Athena. Basically, to help us along in the case.
For the sake of argument, I won't be doing it in this specific episode, but I will showcase this at a later date. So press X when the option to consult with me appears. Fair enough. I'll let you know what I think the suspicious statement is. Sounds good. I'll be counting on you if I get him in a bind. Alright, it's cross-examination time. And now for the first cross-examination. Let's see, where do we do? The bomb was originally disarmed by me and transported here as evidence. Alright, I should be talking at this point. So the bomb name is HH3000. It's operated by a timer or with a remote. In fact, here's a little picture of it. Oh, I need a... So here's a little picture of it. And there's some details about the bomb. 10 by 10 by 10. Weight is 12 pounds, and the case was a 5/16" alloy plating. I guess it's fair to know. Anyway. I was watching from the gallery when we suddenly became alarmed. I saw that the bomb's timer was counting down. Excuse me? Huh? Huh? It was hidden inside a stuffed animal. How could you have seen that the bomb's timer was counting down? I mean, fairly clearly.
Objection!
So you say you saw the bomb's countdown, is that right? Of course. I clearly saw it counting down to 0. And I say that you are clearly lying. What are you talking about? Well, there's no way that you could have seen the bomb's timer. After all, the bomb was concealed inside a stuffed animal. Mr. Tenati, how can you claim to know the bomb was about to go off when you couldn't even see the timer? What? No! It does seem like a glaring inconsistency indeed. The witness, how do you explain this? Well, Ooh, that was great, Mr. Wright. You found a contradiction right off the bat. Always remember, Athena, when you find an inconsistency in a witness's testimony, there's always a reason behind it. It could be a lie, a hidden meaning, a secret. Whatever it is, it's up to us to dig it out. Pointing out every contradiction we find is the best way to do it, right, boss? The question is, can we dig out Mr. Tenati? Well, let me see. No. There must be some mistake. Oh, yes, of course. I remember now. The sound. I knew because of the sound. The sound? What sound? When the timer of this type of bomb is switched on, it beeps softly. Beep, beep, beep. It is the sound of the bomb counting down. Beeping noise, you say? Well, I suppose it would be possible to notice that, even with the bomb inside a stuffed animal. I simply made a mistake. My bad.
Objection!
How in the world did you hear such a tiny little sound all the way from the gallery? Listening for the sound of a bomb's timer is an integral part of my work. I constantly undergo training so that I will never miss it. I hardly think training would help you hear something so soft from so far away. What now? Are you making light of the fine science of disarming bombs? It is a solemn mission that I put my life on the line to perform. What kind of specialist would I be if I could not hear the bomb's timer? It's not like disassembling a toaster, you know? Now he's just showing off.
You keep asserting that the sound was too tiny to hear, but the only tiny thing here is your skill as a lawyer. Being mistrustful is not an attractive quality, you know. You're just overflowing with attractive qualities, are you? Or perhaps you have some proof that Mr. Tonani did not in fact hear the sound? Well, no, but it still seems totally suspect. But it's going to be really hard to prove that he didn't hear something. If I have this correct, the prosecution's argument is that someone reactivated the bomb before it was brought to the courtroom. What I don't understand, Mr. Payne, is why you believe that person to be Ms. Woods. That's simple, Your Honor. Mr. Tonani happened to be there when it happened. He was there when the defendant rearmed the bomb. What's this now? It happened before the trial started. It was when Detective Arm and I were transporting the bomb. We brought the bomb to the lobby for the defense. Bomb equals evidence. The lawyer wished to see it before the start of the trial. Looking for a chance to get at the bomb, Ms. Woods was already there in that lobby. Her goal was surely to rearm the bomb and steal the remote switch. The remote switch? Yes, the switch that controls the bomb remotely. Duh. It has been missing ever since the incident. Missing remote switch. Add it to the court record. Now, obviously, that's not something that we can examine. Oh, wait. So that's obviously not something that we can examine in particular. But, well, I guess we do have the option of at least looking at that in the court record. The switch that starts the time bomb's countdown was stolen just before the blast and is now missing. Fair enough. I am partially to blame. I left the bomb and remote on top of the transport case, and they were rearmed and stolen while I was talking with the lawyer. The defendant then used the remote from inside the courtroom to start the timer.
Objection!
Objection! How can you assert so unequivocally that the bomb was rearmed in the lobby?
Objection!
The bomb was safely secured in the transport case. The only time it was outside of the case was in that lobby. Therefore, that was the only one and only opportunity anyone had to meddle with it. Someone other than Mr. Tonani could have opened the case and taken the bomb out. Impossible. The transport case is assigned exclusively to me. Do you see this number here? That is my identification number. I have the only key that can open the case. The bomb transport case has been added to the court record. So the case that Tonani and Detective Arm transported the bomb in, obviously Tonani has the only key for it. Nevertheless, Mr. Payne's assertion is nothing more than conjecture. You have no proof that it was Miss Woods who stole the remote switch. And by the same token, you have no proof that it wasn't her. But what I do have is a piece of evidence that proves that a defendant handled the bomb. Ah! The tail! 5 minutes, 24 seconds, 2.3 deciseconds. The defense's advantage lasted a mere 5 minutes. Ugh! Talk about a rotten hand. As long as they have her fingerprints as their trump card, they're at a big disadvantage. Then maybe we might want to re-examine this particular piece of evidence here. Oh wait, I should have... Ah, well. It's going to be kind of hard because I don't have a button to just, like, push to unmute myself. I just have a button to, like, push to mute, and then a button to, like, toggle mute, so... Right. It appears we have to hear from the defendant herself once more. I wholeheartedly agree, Your Honor. I would like to recall Miss Woods to the stand. I trust you have no objections, Mr. Wright. I heard about her condition, but we do need her testimony. On the other hand, I'm not sure I want to make Athena mad. I can read your feelings, you know, boss. Guess there's no hiding from her, huh? Don't worry. I know we need her testimony. But if anybody picks on her again, they'll pay. Guess she is already at anger level 1. Don't worry. I'll stop the proceedings before I let anything bad happen to her. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. In that case, I will take my leave. But before I do, there is just one more thing. Mr. Wright, is it? Me? Yes. Dismantling bombs is my job. Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try. That smug mother... Yeah, he's being real smug right there. That's immediately raising alarms for me. But, you know, we'll see. Ugh. This guy is hiding something. I just know it. Now, if you will excuse me. Bailiff, please go out to the lobby and bring back the defendant. I want to bring that witness back so hard. I want to bring him back and tear him to pieces. But anyway, we've got Miss Woods here, and we're going to introduce something kind of special here. But I had to double check something because Ben made a notice on my end. Okay. Ben went and double checked, and I did post everything correctly. All right. Don't worry, we'll just cut out of this. Cut this out. All right. Back in we go. Junie! Hi, Athena. She looks even worse off than before. Don't worry, Ginny. We're here for you. Thanks, Athena. And I'll do my best, too. You blew up the courtroom because you bear resentment against the courts, correct? No, of course not. What's that you say? I can barely hear you. I haven't done anything wrong. This prosecutor's scary. Objection! Objection! What an impudent little girl. Stop acting innocent and tell the truth. This is getting ugly. You rearmed the bomb because you wanted to blow up the courthouse. Admit it. That's why you went into the lobby where Mr. Justice was, isn't that right? Right. Can I go give that prosecutor a smack? What? Of course not! Do we have to review Corporate Manners 101 again? You can't let a creep that bullies innocent girls like this off so easily. Well, I haven't forgotten about how he treated you. Don't worry about me, just help Junie. Her heart's crying out. She's so scared, so very scared. Looks like Athena's picking something up with her heightened sense of hearing. It sounds like this time, it's the voice of Miss Wood's heart. Don't deny it. You stole the remote switch and used it in the courtroom, didn't you?
Objection!
Your Honor, please put a stop to this. Mr. Payne is badgering the defendant. Yes, Miss Woods does seem quite frightened. Mr. Payne, I ask that you behave more like a gentleman. Ah, but don't you know, Your Honor? There is no more gentleman man in this world than I. As if a gentleman or even a gentleman would behave like he does. Don't let that brute ruffian win. How dare you call a gentleman such as I a rude ruffian? I'll have you know I attend a manners class every Saturday. I'm more than just a mere gentleman, I'm a genteel man. Oh, you're terrorizing a young lady or not? I'd demand my money back from my manners class if I were you. probably be the adult here and stop the two of them, but... Mr. Payne, that will be enough. Certainly, Your Honor. No further questions. Let's move on to the defendant's testimony. Ms. Woods, please share with the court what you were doing when the bomb went off. So witness's testimony for when the bomb went off. That day, I was watching from the gallery. The bomb went off, and the rubble started falling. It fell on top of me. Jeannie's clearly in pain, being forced to recall the bombing like this. She can't even get her words out. This isn't going to work, so what now? Hey, wait a minute! Even if she can't vocalize what she wants to say, we can listen to what's inside her heart! Yes, now's a perfect time to use Athena's power! You can hear it, can't you, Athena? Cries Miss Wood's heart? Yes, and they sound incredibly strained. She's so scared. She could collapse at any second. Athena has a unique ability, you see. With her finely tuned sense of hearing, she can hear the words of the witness's heart. In essence, she can sense how a person is really feeling from the tone of their voice. I guess it's up to Athena and her special ability now. Athena, I want you to use the analytical psychology you studied and listen to the testimony of Miss Wood's heart. Okay, boss. I'll give it a go. After all, this is the whole reason I put all that effort into studying analytical psychology. Off gets. Let's do this. So, your holographic thingamabob can show us how Miss Woods is feeling, right? In a nutshell, yes. The emotions and images that I picked up on just now while listening to her testimony, I can enter all of that into Widget and use the mood matrix to analyze them. These mood markers here reflect fluctuations in Junie's emotions. When she feels happy or is enjoying the memory, the happy marker will light up. When she feels angry or frustrated, the angry marker will react. When she feels sadness or is frightened by a memory, the sad marker will blink. And when she feels surprised or confused, the surprise marker will let us know. So, with your special ability in which it's Mood Matrix program, we can track how Miss Woods is feeling as she testifies. Talk about the wonders of technology. Yep, now let's give it a shot. I'm picking up on some kind of discord or noise in Judy's heart. See here? This is what the noise looks like in the Mood Matrix. It's a result of inconsistencies between her testimony and her feelings. We can pinpoint these inconsistencies, the noise level should drop. Okay, it's time to listen to Ms. Wood's true testimony. Activating the widget for the Mood Matrix. Interesting. I think I've got a... Okay. I think I've got a good grasp on Ginny's emotional state now. This power of Athena's is incredible. I'm seeing an unexpected emotion that's inconsistent with the contents of her testimony. Yeah, I think I noticed that too. I noticed that too as well. Don't worry. What? Already? Look at this! When she says it fell on top of me, the happy marker is reacting. Look at that. That is odd. There must be a reason for this contradictory emotion. We just need to do some digging. Yeah. Alright.
let's get to it. When you find an unexpected emotion, you'll first need to pinpoint it. And then select the unexpected emotion or reaction from the 4 mood markers. So just like Athena says, we'll pinpoint that one. There we go. So which is registering joy when Miss Woods recalls the rubble falling on her. There must be a reason for this unexpected emotion. Ms. Woods, as the rubble was falling, was there also something that made you feel happy? What? Just right. The feeling of happiness is spreading throughout Junie's heart. Keep going on this point, and I bet Junie will start to calm down. Great. Let's hear what she has to say. Just as I was about to escape the courtroom, the bomb went off. I was so startled, I tripped. And then the rubble started falling on top of me. I really thought I was done for. But just then, Apollo came and rescued me. Apollo? He used his own body to shield me from the rubble. So that's when he sustained those injuries. How do you feel, Junie? Did talking about Apollo give you some courage? Yes. Apollo is just like the sun, strong and bright and warm. Just talking about him makes me feel like a leaf undergoing photosynthesis. And see, your coughing has stopped all of a sudden. Oh, you're right. Thank you, Athena. Looks like we were able to draw some new testimony. Pretty neat, huh? But there's still some noise left, meaning that there must still be some discord in Junie's heart. I guess we'll have to keep going then. Let me input this new information and update the mutant matrix, and we'll be good to go. You remember what to do, right? Well, when I find an unexpected motion, first pinpoint it. That's right. And then select it from the mood markers with A. You can find the reason for the discord in her heart. Then we should be able to draw out even more new testimony out. Information updated. Alrighty. So we tried to run, but I was too slow. Before we could get away, the bomb went off. I was so startled, I tripped. Then rubble started falling on me. I thought I was done for. And Apollo came and rescued me. And right off the gate as well, on the same statement, there's no emotion that's appeared.
Got it!
You were happy when Mr. Justice rescued you, were you not? Yes, I was really happy. But was there also something you felt sad about at the time? Sad? The reason I ask is, when you were describing how you were rescued, we sensed a little sadness too. Oh! I think it's probably because of Bumrap Briny. Bumrap Briny? Well, what do you know? Something new. That's right! I brought my stuffed animal, Bumrap Briny, to watch the trial with me. Bumrap Briny and Phony Fanty are brothers. Huh. Only with the legal world can inspire a whole line of merchandise. I had Bumrap Briny with me while I was watching the trial. But it wasn't until Apollo saved me that I realized I'd lost him while I was running away. Poor Rainy, victim of that terrible bomb. Oh, I know! You can see what he looks like on this poster. It's for the campaign to eradicate fake evidence and false charges. Fancy and Bumrap Rainy, huh? Nothing against the campaign, but why
an elephant and a rhinoceros. Mr. Wright, I don't sense any discord in Junior's heart anymore. Noise level, 0%. So I guess that means we managed to draw out all of her testimony. That's right. I'll just make an update with the new information, and we should have the whole picture. So, do you think her new testimony will help? Absolutely. I don't know what I would have done without you, Athena. So Bumrap Briny was in that courtroom when the bomb went off. Now that we know that, it changes the meaning of that other piece of evidence. All we have to do is present it at the right statement. We were watching the gallery with Bumrap Briny. I tried to run, but I was too slow. Before I could get out of the courtroom, the bomb went off. I was so startled I tripped. Then rubble started falling. I thought I was done for. Then Apollo came and rescued me. And needless to say, I think we know exactly which statement to present this evidence to.
Objection!
Ms. Woods, I know this trial has been very hard for you, but you can relax now. You are without a doubt innocent. Mr. Wright, what wild assertion are you making now? My wild assertion is simply this. The two stuffed animals were mixed up. The tail on the defendant's fingerprints were found on wasn't that a phony Fanty. It was the tail of her gallery companion, Bumrap Briny.
Objection!
What? What nonsense is that? I can see they're both stuffed animals, yes, but they're completely different characters. An elephant and a rhino. They're distinct as a defense lawyer and a prosecutor. But are they really so different? Both defense lawyers and prosecutors strive to protect the peace through law. Even elephants and rhinos have some similar characteristics. They're both gray, for example. Anyway, this poster is all I need to prove my assertion to be true. If I may direct the court's attention here, you'll clearly see how they've gotten mixed up.
Take that!
Whoa, would you look at that? The two tails are exactly the same. Yes, exactly. The two stuffed animals are based on entirely different animals, but the design of their tails is exactly the same. Ah! Order! Order in the court! As long as a possibility exists that the tail belongs to Bumrap Briny, we can no longer consider it to be decisive proof that the defendant handled the bomb. As things stand, I consider the charges against the accused unsubstantiated. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Payne? Oh, yes, of course, Your Honor. Oh, that was great, Mr. Wright. You turned things right around. Yeah, it's not over yet, but at least we managed to hold out this long. I believe that brings our proceedings for today to a close. Mr. Payne, I'm afraid you have some serious investigating ahead of you. Yes, Your Honor. Very well. Let us reconvene tomorrow. Court is adjourned. December 17th, 11:56 a.m. District Court, Defendant, Lobby, number 5. That was so exciting, boss! We did it! True to form, you managed to just barely pull it off at the very last moment. True to form? Gee, I never knew you'd had such a glowing opinion of me. Thank you for everything you're doing. You did great, Miss Woods. You really stuck it out. You got really brave at the end, just when we needed you most, Junie.
Thanks to you, we were able to turn things around. Well, you were the one who gave me that courage, Thena. Really? Thanks. So, be honest, is there any help at all? Of course. Without you, we would have never gotten out of that tight spot. That's good to hear. I may still have a lot to learn, but you can bet I'm going to give it my all. I'll be so good that one day you'll call me your partner. That's what I like to hear. Analytical psychology, the ability to solve the riddles of a person's heart. Thena's true potential is beginning to really shine through now. Hey, where's Apollo anyway? Good question. I almost forgot about him. What? You almost forgot about Apollo? Seriously? Is he not in the lobby with you guys? Oh boy. I assumed he'd still be here in the lobby. Oh, I know! Maybe he's still in courtroom number 4. The courtroom number 4? What would he be doing at the scene of the explosion? When I came out to the lobby to rest, I told Apollo about Bumrap Riney. I told him I dropped Riney in the courtroom. I was trying to escape before the blast. Then Apollo said he had an idea where Riney might be, so he went to go take a look together. Huh. Guess Apollo can be pretty nice when he wants to be. So you went looking for Riney together before you were called back into the courtroom? Yes. I had some time to rest, so I was able to go and look for him. But then they called me into courtroom number 5 to testify. Apollo insisted on staying there, though. Injuries? Yeah, seriously. I wonder how he's managing. Yeah, me too. I think Apollo might have figured something out. I wonder what it was. He told me I'm going to look for evidence to clear your name, Juniper. Just maybe you found some new piece of evidence. Anyway, we better go get him. Good idea. December 17th, 12:11 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 4.
Where are you, Apollo? Trial's over for today! Come on, I know you're... No!
Well, and on that note, I hate to leave it on the cliffhanger, but we will take a quick pause, and when we come back, the continuation of Ace Attorney: Dual Destinies. Alrighty. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are paused for a little bit, and we're going to be taking a quick little break. A couple of things that I want to announce before I continue. First and foremost, yes, you might notice that there's been some changes to everything. Also, chat is on the screen, so it's hiding in the bottom corner just a little bit, but I believe it should be showing up here. In fact, I may have to go and bring the chat up just ever so slightly. Oh yeah, I do, because have to go and bring you guys up just a little bit because you're hiding in the ticker. There we go. Alright. So chat is now on the screen. That is going to be halfway for me. I'm going to be taking a quick little break. When I come back, we're going to the second half of all of this and catch things right back up to where we left off. So I will see you all on the flip side. Hello, everyone. So, had to crank up some stuff because it was getting to be a little warm in here, and now that we're officially in March, I can finally open up my window again because it's Iowa March, and it's still like early spring, thankfully. So that means like start of March, I can actually open up my window and actually have some nice cool breeze coming in. But anyway, I'm back. I'm gonna hide that. Alright. So this is the part where I would read off any alerts if I had any, but as I do not have any alerts right now, I'm just gonna go off of my general list. First of all, regardless if you can chat with us or not tonight, thank you very much for dropping on by. We have a special offer for those of you that are hiding in the chat. If you'd like a free Lurkers shoutout once per stream, you can type the command !lurk in the chat, and we'll give you an audible thanks for dropping on by. Those that have redeemed the Lurkers shoutout are going to get a bonus shoutout right now. Those, of course, being Ben the Millennium, again, and Lord Navasa. Thank you very much as well for dropping on by while I was in recording mode. For those that are watching us live, we do also have a VODs channel, as well as a couple other channels on YouTube that we'll be working on. The VODs channel is for all of our streams replayed onto YouTube, and then the main channel, DanMetroArnold, is where this video will specifically be once it is ready to post. If you're watching us over there, we do want to also give you a huge thanks for visiting us here on DMA Live Replayed. The live shows are going to be on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and select Sundays this month in March, starting usually around 3 p.m. U.S. Central Standard Time. Speaking of our schedule, the schedule for the upcoming week is as follows. Tonight, we resume the Apollo Justice Trilogy, and we'll be finishing up Turnabout Countdown after this intermission. After which, depending upon time that I've got left, I might just hang out with the chat for a little bit, and then we'll end things off probably about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight, depending upon how things go. Thursday, we'll be back at 2 p.m. I did apologize. I need to change that time. 2 p.m. Central. We'll be starting up with a mod server turnabout and going until about 8 or 9 p.m. as well for that. And then Saturday, we'll be going to Apollo Justice Trilogy Part 10. And again, starting at 2 p.m., and we'll be going until we are finished with that chapter as well. The following Sunday, we're doing a double header. We're going to be starting off with some Minecraft Survival. That will be starting a little bit earlier as well. We'll be starting at 2 p.m. Daylight Savings in effect for that as well. So we'll be starting even earlier than that as well. And then later on, the Board of Directors will be reconvening on Sunday night from 6 to 9 p.m. I'm going to try to stream that as well, but that does remind me I will need to get that up and going as well for that as well. And then next Tuesday, we're going to be blasting off to the Turnabout next week for Part 11 of the Apollo Justice Trilogy. That will be starting at 3 p.m. Central, with the daylight savings in effect. Beyond that, I do have one final shout out for the stream, and it is brought to you by none other than the Metro Realm itself. Our community Discord server for the Metro Realm is now open once more to the public. Access to the server is available for those that are interested in joining via our website, themetrorealm.net/discord, or by typing in the command !Discord into the chat. Couple other reminders as well. For the stream, we are working on a goal of reaching 50 followers right now, which will open up the opportunity to play through the bonus episode of Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, Turnabout Reclaimed. You can also check the stream below to see where we are towards this active goal, as well as our other incentives that are available during the playthrough of the Apollo Justice Trilogy. And then our last incentive, or last major thing that I need to note, is that we are recording this for the main channel, youtube.com/@DanMetroArnold. We're going to be in recording mode for the rest of this stream, meaning the chat and alerts are being turned off to focus on gameplay. Chat is still being monitored, and alerts will still be replayed and acknowledged during the intermissions between segments of the stream. we have 0 new alerts. It looks like. Yes. So you have 0 new alerts. And it does not appear as though I have any tips to claim in the tip jar, but I'm just going to double check my window here, make sure that I've got that all good to go. Yes, so no new tips, nothing showing up for alerts. So with that, I believe that is about all that I've got. So again, huge shout outs to Ben the Millennium and Lord Navasa for dropping on by during that first segment and for chatting with us here in the first half. Catching up to my notes for this. Basically, the movie Matrix. Athena has a strengthened sense of hearing, which does enable her to hear the person's true emotions from the tone of their voice. Using that information from the testimony, she will be kind of crucial in figuring out some of the things in the later elements of the game. From the rest of this, it looks like it is all just usual cross-examinations. So we're not going to be using the mood matrix for much of anything else in this second half, rather. But for the first time in this part of the trilogy, we're going to be covering multiple days all in one. The last time that we had that available to us was supposed to be Chapter 2 of Apollo Justice Trilogy that ended up getting split into 2 streams. So that's why everything is a little topsy-turvy for me. We're going to go right back into this. I did take the liberty of saving into the first time slot, but we took the liberty of saving, and it is now time for us to go right back into the second half of this. In fact, this might kill my stream, but I am going to bear and grin it, and I'm going to try to see if I can... You know what? No, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to do the same. We're going to keep recording where we left off. All right. So with that said, I'm going to mute up and talk in my Esper voice with you all. And I'm going to unpause the recording and continue right where we left off in this second half. December 18th, 9:34 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. Before I begin, we have one small note to make. We begin, of course, back in the defendant's lobby. Yesterday, we found Apollo unconscious in courtroom number 4, and we ended up having to take him to the hospital. Athena decides to take Juniper's mind off of Apollo's situation, but inevitably will not do so well. Due to Apollo's assault, a proper investigation couldn't be done by the Right Anything Agency, so we have no choice but to enter this trial once again unprepared. I forgot to unmute the game. Hang on a second. Frick. All right. Take 2 of that. I forgot to unmute the game. We now return to our regularly scheduled chaos already in progress. December 18th, 9:34 a.m. at District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. So we begin once again in the defendant's lobby, where yesterday we found Apollo unconscious in courtroom number 4 and took him to the hospital. Athena will try to take Juniper's mind off of Apollo's situation, but fails. Due to Apollo's assault, a proper investigation couldn't have been done by the Right Anything Agency, so we have no choice but to enter this trial unprepared. And now, I will shut up and finally read these damn lines. isn't exactly how I envisioned the second day of this trial to start. But given how things ended yesterday... Good morning. It sure is tense. Not that that's any surprise. Oh, hey, did you read the paper this morning, boss? Huh? The paper? That came out of left field. You didn't read it? You don't know the big news. Somebody spotted an abominable snowman way up in the mountains. Tell me you know the difference between a paper and a tabloid, Athena. It might show up in the forest where you live, Junie. So you better watch out, okay? You really should read the story for yourself. I couldn't even begin to do it justice. Justice? Huh? Oh, poor Apollo. It's all my fault. Theta! Oh, Junie, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry. What we found yesterday was not Apollo's dead body, thank goodness. Phew! For a second, I thought I was going to have to carry the rest of this trilogy without Apollo. Don't worry, I already knew this. Full disclosure, this is entirely not blind. I just wanted to make that joke. Anyway. He'd been assaulted by someone with a blow to his head and was lying unconscious. We rushed him to the hospital right away, and it looks like he's going to pull through. But it was still quite a shock to stumble onto a scene like that. I'll bet. Anyway. Is Miss Woods alright, Athena? Well, I managed to get her to stop crying. Now she's resting on that sofa over there. I guess she really feels responsible for what happened to Apollo. Poor Junie. She believes that the reason Apollo was attacked was because he was helping her look for something in that courtroom. Oh? I guess I can see why she'd think that. By the way, how are you doing? Who, me? Yeah. I know you're concerned about Miss Woods, but are you alright? Me? I'm doing just fine, boss. I mean, yeah, it was a huge shock, but I'm alright. People who study analytical psychology are great at times like these. After all, they've learned how to control their own emotions, too. Somehow, I don't think it's as easy as she makes it sound. Yeah, I can totally tell from Widget. Okay, I guess I can do this. Basically, Widget literally reads Athena. Like, Widget practically can show Athena's emotions on her sleeve. So yeah, definitely upset. I also was not trying to accidentally show that on the stream. Don't worry. There's no denying she's a real trooper. Yeah, I know. Apollo doesn't remember a thing, does he? Yeah, I can't recall anything from the time right before he was assaulted. Nothing about what he was doing in the courtroom before, or who assaulted him. The doctor said it's probably due to the hit that he took to the head. Assaulted in a court of law and losing your memory at that. I don't know how that feels. But who in the world would do such a thing, huh, Mr. Wright? Just wait till I get my hands on the coward who hit Apollo. Okay, down, Athena. We don't need you getting aggressive on this. Anyway. Now, Athena. I thought you said you were in control of your emotions. Let's just focus on helping Miss Woods, alright? I admit, I'm just as upset as you. Okay, boss. You're right. Apollo's assailant can wait until after we clear Junie's name. That's the spirit. I better check the court record once more before... time before the trial starts. Good idea. So we have the all-important badge, proof of my profession. Arms autopsy report. Trauma to back of head caused impact with a flat object. We have HH-3000 bomb, phony phantom tail, which I believe is supposed to be from Bumrap Riney. The missing remote switch, and the bomb transport case. And Apollo assaulted during the trial yesterday. Thankfully, he's going to be okay, but he's still at the hospital undergoing treatment. And then this Looney Tune, police bomb specialist, was in charge of handling the bomb that exploded in the courtroom. Prosecuting attorney, the younger brother of another prosecutor right now. This one lacks presence. This one lacks presence too. Whoa! One, I misread that. Two, Jesus H. Christ, Phoenix. Definitely know how to bring the burn down prosecutor pain. There was one other suspect in the case, detective who was heading up the investigation into a bombing incident. Alright. That was all of the profiles that I wanted to read in my notes. So, obviously, Apollo's in the hospital, so we're going to be finishing the trial with just Nick and Dina. We're also going to have a couple new pieces of evidence that when they get added to the court record, we should take a look at. So, I've got notes for all of those, plus everything else. Let's get right back into this, shall we? Earth to Mr. Right! I'm ready whenever you are! Alright. Let's get ready to rumble. You bet! Everything that happened with Apollo didn't have time for proper investigation. I can't let that stop me, though. I have to get this right. For Miss Wood's sake, and Apollo's, too. Alright, just trying to make sure. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Trying to get my notes to show up so I can read the chat at the same time. There you go. Alright. In fact, I'm going to shrink that just a little bit so I can actually read that a little bit better. Alright. Sorry, had to do some things. With that said, though, December 18th, 9:50 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. Day 2. Court is now in session. All rise. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready, Your Honor. Now then, I believe I instructed the prosecution to further their investigation. Were you able to locate the remote switch in question? I'm afraid the remote switch is still missing, Your Honor. I must say I'm disappointed, Mr. Payne. Not angry, just disappointed. I apologize, Your Honor. The prosecution is just as unprepared as I am. There's a separate matter, however, that I would like to bring up during this trial. A separate matter, you say? And what might that be? I assume you are aware that another incident occurred during yesterday's trial. I'm speaking, of course, of the assault on Mr. Justice in rooms of courtroom number 4. Uh-oh. Is he bringing that up? Yes, what a truly harrowing experience it must have been for Mr. Justice. At the time of the attack, Mr. Justice was not alone. He was with the defendant, Miss Juniper Woods. He isn't going where I think he's going with this, is he? The prosecution wishes to indict Miss Woods on the charge of Mr. Justice's assault. What? Excuse me, what? Order. Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the incident under deliberation here is a courtroom bombing. The assault of Mr. Justice has nothing to do with this trial. But I believe there is a connection between this case and Mr. Justice's assault. Please take a moment to consider these facts. Both events occurred in courtroom number 4. This is the location in the courtroom number 4 where the unconscious Mr. Justice was discovered. As you can see, it's quite close to where Detective Arm's body was found. The courtroom as it was when Paul was discovered in the assault. Courtroom number 4 diagram added to the court record. The question is, why did the culprit feel the need to maliciously attack Mr. Justice? Why, indeed. What do you believe their motive to be, Mr. Payne? I believe Mr. Justice found something in that courtroom while Miss Woods was with him. Evidence that fingered her as a perpetrator of the bombing. You mean he found some incriminating evidence? Precisely. And so I surmise that the defendant picked up a piece of rubble and hit Mr. Justice on the back of the head in order to silence him.
Objection!
Junie would never do such a thing. She was devastated when we found Apollo hurt like that. Miss Sykes, please control your outbursts. It is the prosecution's belief that by deliberating Mr. Justice's assault, you will draw even closer to the truth of the courtroom bombing itself. Very well. Ms. Woods is hereby officially indicted on the charge of assaulting Mr. Justice. What? Why are you listening to Mr. Toupee over there? Oh, considering our conversation yesterday, I think Apollo might have figured something out. I don't know what it was. He told me I'm going to look for evidence to clear your name, Jennifer. Maybe the two incidents are I would like to start by hearing from the defendant herself. Very well. Bailiff, please bring Miss Woods to the witness stand. I'm sorry. I can't seem to stop. Miss Woods. I guess she's still really upset about Apollo. Miss Woods, you went to the ruins of courtroom number 4 with Mr. Justice, did you not? Yes, I did. Good, good. And if you would, then please testify about what happened to the court. Oh, this isn't going to end well. This is not going to end well. I'm going to say that. But, alone with Apollo. During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me and we went to the courtroom together. Then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony. Apollo insisted on staying behind in courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person? So Mr. Justice stayed by your side while you were feeling unwell. What an admirable young man. I thought his loud voice was his only outstanding feature. He may look like a little imp at times, but Apollo can be really nice too. I hope she didn't hurt her wrist backhanding that one out. But one has to wonder, why did Mr. Justice stay behind in the ruins? I think Apollo might have figured something out. Something? What kind of something? Something to do with the courtroom bombing kind of something, I think. Oh, new evidence for the case, was it? That's a very big kind of something indeed. I believe so. You mentioned looking for some evidence when I was called away.
Objection!
Just as I thought. There is a connection between the two incidents. But the defendant has told a very big lie, Your Honor. And what lie is that? When she learned Mr. Justice would be looking for evidence, she attacked him. She attacked him to give herself the chance to destroy that evidence. No! I never...
Objection!
Objection!
His woods repaid Mr. Justice's kindness with violence. We found the proof of her foul deed there in the courtroom ruins. What on earth? You see it? There in the wood, in front of Mr. Justice's right hand. Witness the message he left us. It's written in blood. W-O-O-D-S. Why, isn't that... That's right, Your Honor. It says Woods in capital letters. What? Mr. Justice left us with the name of his attacker before he fainted. Apollo's assault photo has been added to the court record, and now that gives us an appropriate time. Instead of reading... No. Instead of reading, I want to look at both of those. So, got that. And a diagram. I try my best to hide myself in an inconspicuous place so we can see most of this really clearly. It actually does show the bullets on there too, which is kind of concerning. No, that can't be true. Why would Apollo write my name? Mr. Wright. The nerve of him leaving that message! Why would he do this? Hey, don't take it out on me. I don't understand it any more than you do. I discovered Apollo yesterday. Apollo! No. Didn't even have a chance to rush over to him. As soon as security heard Athena's scream, they ran in and cordoned off the area. After that, they were there in courtroom number 4 with Apollo the whole time. We didn't investigate anything ourselves and had to leave everything to the police. Still, I never thought they would find some bloody writing there. Now then, please begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. With pleasure, Your Honor. But first, I want to talk a little bit about something kind of important. This is the first part in which we are, again, pressing for more information because we don't exactly have anything concrete that stood out to us. So here's the whole testimony read back in full. During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me and we went to the courtroom rooms together. Then, I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony. Apollo insisted on staying behind in courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person? So again, nothing in particular stood out, and there's not really anything that would be worth presenting at this stage. But look, it's obvious Ginny didn't attack Apollo. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Right, I agree. We must have gone to look for Bumrap Briny together. But why do they need to find it so badly that they'd go into all of that trouble? I better try to find out more. That's a subtle hint that you need to press for more information. Sometimes if you go to the end of it, you can either get a hint that you need to press, or you need to present some evidence. Clever little thing that you can thank the developers for adding in there. Alright, with that said, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to press for more information on this statement.
Hold it!
Why exactly did you go to the courtroom ruins? We went to look for my medicine, to stop my coughing. Your medicine? Why would your medicine be in courtroom number 4? I dropped it in the key at the moment. Bumrap Briny, he was keeping my medicine safe for me. He has a little compartment that I can put things in, you see. And Funny Fancy has that same type of pocket. That's where the bomb was inserted. I put my medicine for my coughing fits inside my brain. When I told Apollo about it, he said he'd help me go look for it. There's so much rubble in there. I was worried, but there was no rubble or anything in front of the witness stand. So when we got inside, Apollo went straight there and started looking for my Rhiney in that area. It was so nice of him to do that for me, in spite of all his injuries. He was so strong and kind, just like the trees of a forest. The way she makes him sound, you'd think Apollo was some kind of ancient god. Wait.
So that's why you went to the ruins, I see. That seems to be quite an important fact. Please add it to your testimony, Miss Woods.
And of course, that's why we press information to get new testimony. Now then. Apollo started looking for Bumrap Riney near the witness stand, where there was no rubble.
Oh, was there really?
There was no rubble in front of the witness stand, but it fairly clearly contradicts this evidence. That, ladies and gentlemen, is...
Objection!
So he started his search for the witness stand, you say? And that's right. I guess maybe he wanted to start from the furthest point from the room. He was being so brave. And strong. But that's odd. Under those circumstances, he shouldn't have been capable of that. But he was, and he still is. He might not look it, but he really is brave and kind too. No, that's not the part I'm finding fault with. Someone had a crush on Apollo. What you're claiming is something that no one should have been able to do.
But I should think that anyone can be brave and kind if they wanted to be, Mr. Wright.
True, anyone can be brave and kind, but if you would please take another look at the diagram. With the courtroom in the state, how exactly was it possible to walk up to the witness stand?
Oh,
I see your point. Rubble blocks off access to the area around the witness stand. Does such tiny inconsistency even matter? Perhaps the witness is simply misremembering it. Ugh. Great, now I'm not so sure it matters. The real man doesn't make mountains out of molehills, you know.
but that's precisely what Mr. Wright does best.
I call slander, Your Honor! Calm down, Wright, don't worry. You'll get your chance again. Alright. What am I doing now? Okay, I'm not doing this. Don't worry, Wright, you'll get your chance. So what's getting pink now? Okay. Anyway.
So, was it really impossible to approach the witness stand? I have to say, it's a bit hard to tell with any accuracy from just this diagram. And Mr. Payne, do you have any other photos of the crime scene?
Let me see, Your Honor. Yes, I have one more. Here it is. It's a more pulled-back version of the photo I presented before. Apollo's assault photo updated in the court record. Hold the phone! Huh? What's that hunk of metal on wheels? Mr. Payne, is the metallic object in that photo Mr. Tonati's bomb transport case? That's right. Is there some problem?
Yes, that transport case was there in the courtroom number 4 when the bomb went off. It must have been there ever since.
Oh, that's it! Miss Woods, have you remembered something? Yes, I just realized. Its position. It's different from before. Its position? The position of what? The position of that big metal thing. The bomb transport case. Yes. when Apollo and I went there, it was in a different place. Where the case is in the photo was open space, so it was easy to search the stand. I see. So where the transport case... So where was the transport case when you and Mr. Justice saw it? As I recall, I think it was more to the right. To the right. Then that means... In that case, the case was over there at the time of Apollo's attack? Who cares where the transport case was when? What difference does it make? It has nothing at all to do with what we were talking about.
Objection!
Where the transport case was has everything to do with this discussion. In fact, it's so important that it's enough to turn the prosecution's argument on its ear. What? Well, that certainly sounds very relevant indeed. And you sound as though you know where the case was at the time of the attack. Yes, Your Honor. This diagram represents a crime scene as shown in the photo. And this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault on Mr. Justice. Alright, we've got this. The bomb transport case was here at the time of Apollo's attack. It's obvious, really. Right over here.
Take that!
Your Honor, I assert that this was where the transport case was at the time of the assault. That's... inconceivable! Miss Woods, was this where the transport case was when you saw it? Yes! Yes, that's where it was. Thank you, Miss Woods. I'm sure the court has noted an interesting fact about this position. The transport case covers up the writing in blood. Exactly. If the transport case was in that position at the time of the assault, then no message could have been written there because the case was in the way. Which leads us to conclude that Mr. Justice couldn't have left that bloody writing.
Objection!
Why should we believe that the defense claimed that the case was in a different position? She's obviously lying.
Objection!
The fact that the case was moved after the assault of Mr. Justice is proved by more than Ms. Wood's testimony alone. What? Where is this proof you're talking about? It's right here in the crime photo. I'm keen to see this proof myself, Mr. Wright. What in this photo indicates that the transport case was moved after the assault? Obviously.
Take that!
Bandage has tire marks on it. Please take another look at the mark that runs over Mr. Justice's bandages here. I see it, but what is it? This mark was made by one of the casters from the transport case carrying the bomb. As the case was moved, it ran over his bandages. In other words, the transport case was originally to the right of Mr. Justice. Then after Mr. Justice was assaulted, the transport case was moved. What? Just as Mr. Woods said, the case was covering the witness at the time of the assault. Therefore, it was impossible for Mr. Justice to have left that message in blood. No! You did it, boss! It was a real nail-biter, but you pulled it off! Yep. That should bring down the prosecution's claim like a house of cards. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, that was a very clever deduction. Haha, it was nothing, Your Honor. Pure genius. Take that! Boss, I'm sensing a definite smug and braggy vibe coming off of you. I have just one question, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? If Mr. Justice didn't leave this message in blood, then who did? Huh? What? Oh. Well, looks like I should have taken that train of thought through to the last station. Son of a... Right. Always talking without ever thinking 3 steps ahead. Looks like it's gonna be up to us to save him out.
I've heard a lot about this. So this is Mr. Wright's famous bluffing technique, isn't it? This feeling brings back memories of the old days. Back when you carved out a name for yourself by bluffing your way through thick and thin. Gee, Mr. Wright, Judge kind of makes you sound no better than a two-bit con man. You made your argument with such confidence, Mr. Wright. I would like to hear your answer with just as much confidence. Hey, until the judge asked the question you didn't catch on either, Buster. What now, boss? I hope you didn't bluff your way into a corner. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way through this. I have to take my way to the truth somehow. Who could have written that message in blood? Been the culprit. Doubt it was Apollo. We already proved that it couldn't have been him. I don't think it was a culprit either. I have reason to believe it might be someone else. If it wasn't Apollo, who could have left the bloody message? Well, he'd have no reason to leave that message other than to frame Juniper. Gaspin, I doubt he would do something of that nature. Obviously, it wasn't Athena or Junie. So, the only other person that stands out ends up being Candace.
Take that!
To be honest, I don't actually have any real proof of this. But I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Besides Apollo, there was one more person who shed blood at this crime scene. A person who shed blood? You don't mean. Oh, but I do. I believe it was Candace's arm who left behind this message in blood. What? What? Detective Arm? Are you sure you know what you're doing here? Not really.
Objection!
What kind of ridiculous assertion is that? If you had said that the attacker left the message in to throw people off, it might have made sense. At first glance, that would seem to be the most reasonable explanation. However, Apollo didn't shed enough blood to write such an extensive message. Uh-oh. I see. Even the photo makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. And Mr. Justice did survive. And I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case. But why would Detective Arm write the defendant's name? There was no connection between the two whatsoever. And I didn't even know the lady who was killed. I admit the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and the defendant. They had never even met each other. That's very true. Well then, let's see. Maybe the intended meaning of the message is not what it appears to be. The intended meaning? Not what it appears to be? Maybe the message was not intended to be Woods. Coming from you, that's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright. You wish to assert that this bloody writing could have some other meaning? Yes, Your Honor. Something gonna pull it out of a wormhole? It could turn out to be true, right?
Objection!
Billy says Wood says anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have?
Objection!
But Candace Arm was a detective. Maybe Woods only means something to the police. Like a police scanner code, for example. I didn't think of that. You may have tricked his honor, but you'll never get the best of me. I have a thing for studying on the weekends, and as you may have already guessed, there are no such radio codes as Woods in this state, dear Mr. Wright. Is that a fact? Don't look at me. I know as much as you do about police codes. Enough of this. I was quite taken with the defense's new theory. But if they can't substantiate it with anything, then I must end things here. No, please wait, Your Honor. Very well, but before we discuss this theory any further, I demand a plausible explanation. So, Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of the bloody writing? Well, I believe it's... And no stalling. If you can't come up with an answer quickly, I will declare this discussion officially over. I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it have besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language? Or maybe it's a code? Think, Phoenix. You can do this. Which piece of evidence will tell us what the words woods really mean? Indeed. I have a very faint suspicion myself, truth be told.
Take that!
The bomb transport case? I've about had it up to here with your shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Take a look at the numbers on this case, Your Honor. L10015R. Doesn't this string look vaguely familiar? L100. What does that have to do with anything? What could those numbers possibly have to do with the case at hand? Now, take another look at the bloody writing shown in the crime photo. Oh, I think I see it. That girl. That's one on my side. It says woods. Nor you could say it's a horse of a different color, Your Honor. The first character isn't a W. It's actually an L and a 1. Next two are zeros. Oh my goodness. The true meaning behind the bloody writing isn't Miss Wood's name. It's the number engraved on this bomb transport case.
Objection!
What are you talking about? Next part doesn't make any sense. Next number is a 1, but the bloody writing says D.
Objection!
But the number on the case and the bloody writing can be made to match up quite easily. This is how the number on the transport case can be made to match the bloody writing. Please erase the third downward stroke of the W in the curved part of the D. Whoa, would you look at that? Yes? No, Your Honor, it isn't meant to be read as a word. It's the number L10015, which, if you take away the final R, is the exact same number that's on the bomb transport case.
Objection!
These two lines, they match up, you say? Well, I can change anything into anything else simply by erasing two lines. What if you erased two lines from your name? Would you be happy, Mr. Rye? Well, would you, Mr. Rye? Hey, the only right way spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here. I think I've drawn the right conclusion. Detective Arm's real message to us is the bomb transport case number. Your Honor, the two lines were added by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people. What? The original message Detective Arm left behind was the transport case number, but whoever assaulted Apollo changed the message. You're right, boss. Then what do you suppose Detective Arm was trying to tell us? Good question. What does this number represent? You see this number here? That is my identification number. Hannah's arm lost her life in the courtroom bombing. Her dying message could only have had one purpose. No! To tell us the name of the one responsible for the bombing. Don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright. Tell us who she was trying to name. The culprit that the victim was trying to identify is none other than...
Take that!
The defense wishes to indict Mr. Ted Tenati on the charge of the courtroom bombing. Ted Tenati? Apparently disabling bombs is Mr. Tenati's only specialty. Somehow the victim must have realized that he was a bomber. So when she was caught in the blast, she left his bomb transport case number as her dying message. She used Mr. Tenati's own ID number to finger him for the crime.
Objection!
Why would anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? Why wouldn't they simply write the person's name? He's got a good point there. What do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright? That only Detective Arm would know the answer to that. But allow me to offer a theory. Perhaps Detective Arm couldn't recall Mr. Tenati's name in the heat of the moment. As I recall, this was a first meeting between the two. It's entirely possible they wouldn't have been familiar with each other. Or maybe she's using the ID number as a way to hide its true meaning from the real culprit, thus lowering the odds that they would erase the bloody writing. But no matter what the reason, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. The fact remains, she wrote Mr. Tenati's ID number.
Objection!
Now, just one moment here. There hasn't been any proof yet that it was indeed Detective Arm who wrote it. The bloody writing isn't found during the investigation after the blast. If Detective Arm had left a message, it should have been found at the time.
Objection!
Naturally, Mr. Tenati hid it before anyone could discover it. And there's a simple explanation for how he was able to do so. What? Mr. Tenati was able to cover the message up because he was the first to find the body. The first person to discover the body was Mr. Tenati himself. Mr. Tenati saw that the victim had written his ID number. He used the bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure. Oh, so that's why the message in blood was under the transport case. He didn't have enough time to try and scrub away the writing. If he didn't report the body right away, it would look suspicious. So those letters lived on to serve another function. And Mr. Tenati used them in another incident. Oh, the assault of Mr. Justice. Exactly. Mr. Tenati hit upon a plan to use a bloody writing for his own purposes. So he didn't clean it away. Instead, he made it look like Mr. Justice wrote it. By adding the two lines to the writing that Detective Arm left behind, he changed the meaning of the message. He made it look like Mr. Justice was accusing Ms. Woods of the attack. So that means the only person who could have altered the bloody writing was a courtroom bomber, who was the same person that assaulted Mr. Justice. And that person is Ted Tenati. Yeah! Order in the court! Order, I say! It looks like we will have to hear from the bomb specialist himself. Mr. Payne, please have Mr. Tenati take the witness stand. Yes, Your Honor. That was great, Mr. Wright. Just doing what I do best. Just flying by the seat of my pants. Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try. I finally draw Mr. Tenati back onto the witness stand. Time to grease this monkey and get him downtown. Looks like you'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me take your lies apart. Hang on a second, though. Alright. Alright, we're good. Don't worry, I'll cut this a little bit out. Don't worry, guys. Mr. Tanati, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you. I understand the situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close watch on the proceedings from the gallery. The allegations are all laughable.
Objection!
I wouldn't be laughing if I were you, Mr. Tanati. The message in blood matches your ID number. The same ID number that is there on that bomb transport case. Such a far-fetched theory, no better than a tangled ball of wires. I'll have them entangled for you in no time at all. You were the first person on the scene after Detective Arnold left her message in blood. You were the only one who could have hidden the writing and then used it again later. I see. But then, let me ask you. Do you have any proof that Detective Arnold wrote that message? That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright? Best way to prove that Detective Arnold wrote that message would be... Your Honor, I request that a DNA test be performed on the blood itself. Once we know whose it is, it will be obvious as to who wrote the message. Very well. Bailiff, please put in a request for a DNA test from the forensics team. Yes, Your Honor. There'll be some time before we have the results of the analysis. Until then, let's hear more from this witness. I would like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theory is. I admit I was the first one on the scene after the explosion, but there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there was no way Detective Arm could have written it. She struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. She was too far away from where the bloody message was found. So you're saying that the victim's body was nowhere near the writing was? Precisely. It is as plain as day that she could not have written it. It's true that the body was discovered near the entrance to the courtroom. Please have a look at this crime scene photo. As you can see, there's blood on the rubble near the victim's body. She must have died after hitting her head there. Courtroom drawing photo added to the court record. And yes, that's not exactly something that I wanted to look at, but I'll look at it anyway. I see. All right then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testimony apart? Oh, I've got more than enough to take you apart. After the explosion, I admit I was the first one on the scene after the explosion, but there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there was no way Detective Arm could have written it. She had struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. Caused by impact with a flat object. That does not look like a flat object to me. Yeah, I'm calling it right there.
Objection!
You are a terrible liar, Mr. Tanati. Take a look at this autopsy, specifically the part about Detective Arm's head injury. Cause of death, trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. Yes, what about it? Now take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's sharp and pointed. Hey, you're right, boss. It is pointy. Just like your hair. That is odd, isn't it? What could be the meaning of this contradiction? I believe it means the victim did not hit her head on this piece of rubble. The bloodstain you see is just another fabrication. Its purpose is to mislead us into thinking the victim died near the courtroom entrance. Are you claiming the culprit moved the victim's body? That's exactly what I'm claiming. The victim hit her head at some other location, most likely on the floor or some other flat surface. And this location was somewhere near where the bloody writing was found. In that case, she definitely could have written the message. Your Honor, I have the results of the bloodstain analysis. Very good timing. Let's take a look. According to this report, the message was written in Detective Arm's blood. And as the defense claims, only the parts of the message that were added afterwards were written in Mr. Justice's blood. It would appear that the defense's assertion is correct after all. Yes! You did it! You were right, boss! Yes, but I also want to take a look at this really quickly. So DNA analysis definitely proves that the victim of the writing to be that of the victim, Candace Arm, age 27. However, lines that were added later were found to be written in the blood of Apollo Justice, age 23. I wanted to make sure that we checked that over. Now we have to drive it home. Take a good look at the bloody writing analysis later. Already done. Mr. Tenati, it is now apparent that you have told several lies to this court. I hope you have some sort of explanation for yourself. Fine, I will confess. You will? But then, why are you so calm? This time, I will tell the truth. It is true that Detective Arm wrote my ID number. She very plainly wrote L10015R. I was shocked. But I did not detonate the bomb. Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the bomb and covered the writing. My bad. You're bad? Huh? Excuse me? I'll get to you in just a sec, Your Honor, but you're bad? Man's practically tampered with the scene of the crime. That is definitely worth losing his badge over, at least that. Nevertheless, the fact that he is part of a bomb squad. Anyway. I see. So it is your assertion that you merely moved the body, is that it? That is correct. I did not kill Detective Arm. Oh, well, if that's all you did, then... Wait a minute. That in and of itself is a criminal act. For once, I agree with Wright. Glad to see you finally crossed that finish line, Your Honor. Yeah, no shift. Anyway. Very well, then. Your cross-examination, please, Mr. Wright. Will do! Let's get to it. We already have the pieces together by now, so let's just put the puzzle together and pin it to him. It is true that Detective Arm wrote my ID number. She very plainly wrote L10015R. I was shocked. minute. L10015R?
Objection!
I just want to make doubly sure that L10015R is really what you saw written in blood. Yes, it very clearly said L10015R. But that's odd, because that's not what I see.
Objection!
What on earth are you babbling on about now? Wasn't it you who claimed that the bloody writing was his ID number in the first place? Take a good look at the photo in the bloody writing analysis. Now tell me, where does it say L10015R? Oh, heap! Something is missing, isn't it? And that something is a final R. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Tonari? Oh, right. Now I remember. There was no R on the end. It was just a slip of the finger. My bad. Come back, my beautiful contradiction! That's right. I'm not so sure it was just a simple slip of the finger. You have something for me, Athena? I sense that he's extremely agitated, almost panicked. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Okay, I'm taking another look at this because, genuinely speaking, I mean, I know the answer, but I genuinely want to show that for you guys. He does look pretty flustered. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears it was nothing more than a mere mistake. I don't know. Just make a typo? What about that R? Did Mr. Tonari really see it? No, he actually saw it. Maybe Mr. Tonari really did see the R, but there's no R anywhere in the bloody writing. So what's going on here? Huh? Now that I take another good look at the photo, I think maybe... That's it! What is it now, Mr. Wright? Are you trying to imitate Apollo and his cords of steel? No. I've got it! So that's what happened! A slip of a finger. Is that really all it was? Because I don't think so. I propose that Mr. Tonari really did see this letter R. But the photo clearly shows that there is no R. No, Your Honor. Actually, just the opposite is true. The photo shows that Mr. Tonari actually could have seen the R. If you're going to make that claim, you better be able to point out what you mean. What part of a photo shows that Mr. Tonari could have seen the R? There's a little bit of blood right after this 5/S here. I think that's what he could have seen.
Take that!
Please look here, to the right of the 5. Do you see a little bit of red? Oh, I see it. They're just on the edge of where the floor is broken up. That is the R that Mr. Tonari saw.
Objection!
Objection! It's true that the witness wears some very, very odd goggles. But that doesn't mean his eyesight is bad, nor his brain power. What part of that little smudge looks like an R to you?
Objection!
But what Mr. Tonari saw wasn't that little smudge. There was a whole and complete R written there, before the floor was damaged by the explosion. Well, that explains it. Huh? Can you explain what you mean? Because you just proposed that everything happened in the exact opposite order. Yep. Because that's the way it really went down. The timing of when R was written turns everything about this case around. Now then, if the floor was damaged by the explosion, then the message would have had to have been written before the explosion. With a bloody message running off the edge of the damaged floor like that, we can only conclude that it was written before the explosion. But that's ridiculous! And if that were true, it overturns your own premise. That's right, it does. In fact, it turns everything upside down. The victim was not killed by the explosion in the courtroom. She was killed before the explosion ever occurred. Order! Order in the court! What kind of preposterous claim is that? Have you forgotten that the victim's body was found at the scene of the explosion?
Objection!
True, but consider this scenario. She was hit on the head and killed before the explosion, or even before the trial began. Her body was subsequently placed in the courtroom ruins after the bombing occurred. That way, it could be made to look like she was a victim of the blast. What? It sounds like we had better look into what the victim was doing before the trial. Mr. Payne, did anyone see Detective Arm before the trial? Let's see. According to the police report, here it is. One person saw the victim before the trial. And that person was... Tenati. Wait, what? No one besides Mr. Tenati saw the victim? That appears to be the case, Your Honor. I would now ask the court to recall something, specifically Mr. Tenati's words from yesterday. It was when Detective Arm and I were transporting the bomb. My. Mr. Tenati, just before the trial, you were with the victim. The two of you were together at the scene of the crime, courtroom number 4. Your Honor, the defense requests new testimony from Mr. Tenati. We wish to hear what he has to say about his whereabouts just before the trial. Mr. Tenati, your testimony, please. My testimony? There's no need for... He's completely unnerved, Mr. Wright. He must have hit the nail on the head. Because, highlights the temper of the bomb to the courtroom. I already told you. I would go... this thing! I was only in the courtroom with a victim because of our work. I swear it was only transporting the bomb there.
Objection!
You and the victim were alone together at the scene of the crime. In other words, you certainly had the opportunity to commit murder, did you not?
Objection!
Tisk. You always leave yourself so open to attacks, Mr. Wright. What now, Mr. Payne? Yes, Mr. Tenati may have had the opportunity to kill Detective Arm, but an important piece of your assertion is missing. What important piece? The murder weapon. What do you claim was used to kill the victim? Mr. Payne has a point. Even if Mr. Tenati had the chance, without a weapon, he can't accuse him of the crime. Well, Mr. Tenati? Oh, yes, that's right. I didn't have any sort of thing that could be used as a murder weapon on me. I couldn't possibly have killed Detective Arm. Did he really have nothing he could use as a murder weapon? What is it, Athena? Just looking over the victim's autopsy report. I'm hoping there's something in here that can point us in the right direction. Well, it does say that she died from trauma to the back of the head with a flat object. To inflict that specific kind of injury, all you would need is a flat surface, right? A heavy blunt object with a flat surface could definitely be our murder weapon. Well, Mr. Wright, can you indicate for the court what was used to kill Detective Arm? I believe I can. Keyword here. You can? Then please do so now. What did Mr. Tenati have that could have been used as a murder weapon? Mr. Tenati, you say you didn't have anything that could be used as a weapon, but in fact, you had the perfect thing. What? What the devil are you talking about? You had this. That's the bomb. I thought you were trying to prove that the victim wasn't killed by the bomb blast. Well, the bomb blast, no, but I believe Candace Arm was killed with this bomb. Because this is a blunt object that delivered the fatal blow to her head. Ah! Please recall the description of Detective Arm's head wound. Trauma to the back of the head caused by impact with a flat object. We assumed this injury was sustained when her head hit the floor. But a blow from any flat surface of this bomb would produce the exact same wound pattern. Ugh. What's with him? Then show me some proof. Where's the evidence that I hit the victim with the bomb? Heck, he's right. I don't have anything decisive. Did you find any of the victim's blood on the bomb? That would be decisive proof. But too bad, the bomb is blown to bits. It's long gone. Boom! Game over. Yeah! Ugh. Mr. Wright, is there really nothing on the bomb in the photo? Arrgh. Don't see any blood or anything. Wait, the timer display is a little broken here. Maybe it broke when it made contact with Detective Arm's head. Well, that's definitely a distinct possibility. If I have fragment with the victim's blood on it, it's not going to count. I guess you're right. Bomb Tony managed to obliterate all traces of a murder weapon. What in the world do we do now? Times like this, gotta change gears and look at things in a different way. Instead of looking for the things he wasn't able to hide, we should be looking for a way to expose the things that he did hide. Ted Tenati murdered Detective Arm before the trial started. He placed her body in the courtroom after the bomb went off, which means there was something he needed to keep hidden until then. And I think I have just the thing. Time to present the photo that shows exactly what Mr. Tenati had to hide.
Take that!
Your Honor, there's something we've all been overlooking. If the murder took place before the trial, then Mr. Tenati would have had to hide the body somewhere during the trial. Hey, you're right. And if we can figure out where the hiding place was, exactly, we might be able to find some evidence that we can pin him down with. So where could Mr. Tenati have hidden the body during the trial? Only one thing.
Take that!
Wait, a box big enough for a body? A box that was in the courtroom the whole time? A box nobody would touch if they thought there was a bomb in it. Mr. Chinati! What is it? Do you finally have some decisive evidence to show me? No, you're the one who's going to show it to me. Come again? You heard me. Now, show me what's inside that bomb transport case. What? Why? No! There's no need. Got him now. Just before the trial, you killed the victim with a blunt object, and then you placed her body in the ruins of the courtroom after the bomb went off. Clearly, you were trying to make it look like she died in the explosion. But where was the body hidden during the trial? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. The answer is right here. Inside a box made of thick alloy plating that can withstand any impact. No, that's completely false. If it is false, then you should have no objections to us showing in your transport case. So, let's open it up and take a look inside, shall we? Hold it! Let's not if you value your life. What's he up to now? Remain calm and listen carefully. This bomb will detonate in 5 minutes. What? Huh? I repeat, this HH-3000 will detonate in 5 minutes. What's going on? Your Honor, I recommend you adjourn this trial before this bomb goes off. Mr. Tanati, are you threatening me? I am the only one who can disable the bomb. If you do not want to die, your only option is to listen to me. But Mr. Tanati, didn't you say that's just a training model? A fake to practice on? I did, but I also lied. This is the real deal. This is the HH-3000. The HH-3000 was used to blow up by the courtroom number 4, wasn't it? How do you know it was a real HH-3000 that blew up the courtroom number 4? Huh? The bomb that blew up the courtroom was a different one. One that I made. What? Then are we to take that as a confession on your part? Take it any way you would like. Just before the trial, I took the HH-3000 out of the stuffed animal and put my own bomb into it. That was the bomb that exploded and destroyed courtroom number 4. Mr. Tanati, please be reasonable. Do you really expect us to believe a crazy story like that? HH-3000 is so unique. I've never seen anything like it. It is so unique that I cannot replicate the detonation mechanism. So, I just had to have it. Besides, did anyone look inside the stuffed animal during the trial? Did anyone check to see if it really was the HH-3000 in there? I must confess, no one opened the stuffed animal to check. So, there really is a possibility that the bomb was switched out. No, not a possibility. A certainty. I did it. So he's had a real bomb with him this whole time? You had better get out of here while you can. You do not have much time. Order! Order in the court! I'm out of here! It's gonna blow! Run! So, just like that, the gallery's been evacuated. You 4 are still here. Well, aren't you brave? It just wouldn't do for the judge presiding over this court to run. But that horrible explosion the other day. The judge looked like he's ready to book it for the nearest exit any second. As for Mr. Payne... that is... And he's booking for the fences. And he's off. Yep, booking it for the fences. Anyway. Mr. Wright, what do you do? Pretty pathetic to run now, wouldn't it? But the bomb really might go off. Only 3 more minutes, folks. Is that bomb minutes? 3000. What should I do? No. I can't run now. Well, it's been fun, but I will be going now. With my dear HH3000, naturally. Oh, and by the way, I would advise against having me followed. Even with no remote switch, this bomb can still be triggered manually. If I think I'm being followed, I will detonate it on the spot. Farewell. Hold it! Hold it! Yep. You're not going anywhere, Mr. Tenati. Oh? Your Honor, there's no reason to be afraid. That bomb is a fake. Are you sure, Mr. Wright? Or have your famous bluffing, even at the risk of your own life. Mr. Wright, none of your bluffing now, not at a time like this. Lives are on the line here. I'm not bluffing and I have proof. You do? Yes, of course, Your Honor. It's right here in the photo of the bomb, clear as day. Proof that Mr. Tenati's bomb is not the real HH3000. Really? Now with it then, immediately. Where's the proof that Mr. Tenati is holding it? Where's the proof that what Mr. Tenati is holding is not the real HH3000?
Take that!
Cracked display. The display for the timer on the bomb in the photo is broken. Most likely it broke when Mr. Tenati used the bomb to attack Detective Arm. But the display on the bomb in front of us is not broken. Oh, you're right. Therefore, it is not the real HH3000. Mr. Tenati was clearly lying when he said he switched out the bomb in a stuffed animal. The real HH3000 blew up in the courtroom number 4. This bomb is nothing more than a fake, a model used for training purposes. Fear not, Your Honor. I will examine the inside of the bomb transport case myself. Yes, please do that, Mr. Wright. No! Stop! What is that? Is that a bloodstain? Just as I suspected. Your lies have all been blown to bits, Mr. Tenati. I'm confident DNA analysis on this bloodstain will confirm that it's Detective Arm's blood. And that those results will conclusively prove that you murdered Detective Arm. How about it, Mr. Tenati? Think you can dismantle this decisive evidence? Dismantle it? You're too late. You missed your chance to run, so now you're out of time. This HH3000 is about to explode. Don't try to threaten us, Mr. Tenati. I've already proved that your bomb is a fake. It's real. The bomb is a real thing, I tell you. It's real. Mad Bomber party of one. There's no time left. It's going to blow. I have to disarm it. I have to take it apart. If I can dismantle anything, I can take apart evidence. I can take apart bombs. I can dismantle it all. Dismantle, 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 dismantle. I'm not gonna make it. Only one thing left to do. Stop. And I guess you could say... that bomb really is a bust. Made it. And that blows. Game over. Dismantle attempt failed. It's all over. My life has been blown to pieces. It's all that stupid woman's fault. I was selling the bombs I disarmed on the black market. When I tried to take this one, she just had to notice, didn't she? She confronted me in courtroom number 4 that day. That's why I had no choice. Before I knew what I was doing, I hit her. It's all her fault! While I was looking for a place to hide her body, she left a message in her own blood. The trial was about to start, so I didn't have time to clean it up. And now all this, I thought for sure it would disguise her death with an explosion. That stupid defense attorney started sticking his nose into my business. After my testimony yesterday, I went to courtroom number 4 and found that kid all up in my bomb transport case. That's when I snuck up behind him and BAM! Nancy, when the idiot police arrested that little girl, I thought for sure I could put it all on her. Why, oh why? Ted Tenati, you are hereby under arrest on suspicion of the courtroom bombing and the assault on Mr. Justice. Your innocence or guilt will be determined at a later trial. Now then, I see that members of the public have returned to the gallery. One person, however, seems to still be running far, far away. Be that as it may, I will now announce Miss Juniper Wood's verdict. Not guilty! And I think this is the first time in the history of Ace Attorney that no one at the prosecutor's bench is present for this specific case. And I definitely took a picture of that. And with that, court is adjourned. So, what in fact did happen, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. In fact, even better, I am going to show you. Well, not exactly show, but I will read off for you exactly what happened. The bomb specialist Ted Tenati was dismantling bombs and selling them on the black market. He tried to steal the HH-3000 for himself, but Detective Candace Arm caught him and confronted him in courtroom number 4. Tenati picked and hit Arm with the bomb's flat side, killing her. Before dying, Arm managed to write L10015R on the ground in her own blood to accuse Tenati of the murder. He saw this bloody writing and panicked, since the trial was about to begin. He hid Arm's body inside his bomb transport case and covered the writing with the case. During that trial, the phony fanny bomb went off and destroyed courtroom number 4. In the explosion, Juniper Woods lost her stuffed animal to Bumrap Briney in the explosion. Bumrap Briney's tail was identical to the phony fanty's and had her fingerprints on it. The tail was left behind in the scene to be later found and have her accused as the bomber. Tenati then planted Arm's body near some rubble to disguise her death as an explosion. During her trial, Juniper was overcome with coughing and had to leave. Apollo Justice went with her to the courtroom ruins to look for her medicine, but she was called back to trial and Apollo was left behind in the courtroom. Tenati himself gave testimony in her trial, and after finishing, he went to the courtroom ruins to find Apollo near the bomb transport case. Tenati attacked him from behind and used his blood to modify Arm's original message and frame Woods for all of the events. So, that is basically what happened. But as far as what else happens here, well, did it, boss! Yeah, I guess we managed to pull it off somehow. So many mysteries cleared up all at once. It was amazing! Just sort of worked out that way, didn't it? That's not the kind of thing that usually just works out. You made it happen. And the way that mean old prosecutor hightailed out of there, that was great! Mr. Wright, Athena, thank you for everything you did for me. I'm so happy for you, Genie. Now you can go back home to the forest in peace. I hope that both of you will come and visit me there sometime. That would be nice. Thank you for the invitation. I don't know, Mr. Wright. I'm not so sure you can make it all the way up to Junie's house. How high up do you live again, Junie? Around 3,000 feet, I think. What? Oh, that's no forest. That's a nothing mountain. But, you know, boss, there's something that still bothers me about the case. One little mystery we never got around to solving. Oh, that? Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Is this the unsolved mystery that you were thinking of?
Take that!
The remote switch, right? Yeah, I wonder where it disappeared to. Maybe Mr. Tonati just got rid of it somewhere. Yeah, it was a pretty big thing to leave unsolved, though. Well, let's leave it up to the police to find. For now, we should be celebrating our not guilty verdict. I guess you're right. Hey, I know! Junie, shall we go report the good news? You know, to that certain someone. Okay. Huh? Her grandmother? No, silly, to Apollo! Oh, right. Well, why don't we all go to the hospital together to see him? Great idea! I bet he's bored out of his mind. Okay. And so, the courtroom bombing case came to a close. But the next trial was just over the horizon. There's never a dull moment with so many lawyers in an office, that's for sure. Apollo Justice, Athena Sykes, and me, Phoenix Wright. Between the three of us, there's no case we can't solve. When our powers combine, we're an unstoppable team. At least, that's what I believed. But all of that changed with what Apollo said to us that day. It was something that would put my faith in us to the ultimate test. Date unknown, time unknown at the Write Anything Agency.
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Wait, what do you mean by a leave?
Can you at least give me a reason why?
I can only say that this is something I must settle on my own.
Poor Trucy.
Oh, why, Apollo? Why are you shutting us out?
And with that, we end Chapter 1 of Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. What happened to you, Apollo? Ever since you put that jacket on, you've changed. And now, for whatever reason, all my mind keeps doing is returning to the day that we first met you. We had tackled our first case together, he and I, this past spring. And as we did, I came to know who he is and how he thinks. It was a very peculiar case, one in which the victim was killed by a mythical creature. And with that, that is the end of episode 1 of Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Turnabout Countdown has been awarded. And that is going to be it for the recording. So I'm going to end things on off here. But I will make sure that we save this as the end of episode 1. And in the next adventure, we will start off with the Monstrous Turnabout, episode 2, here on DanMetroArnold. Until then, thank you very much for watching. And I will see you all in the next adventure. Bye! But don't worry, guys, for the stream, I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I'm right back here. In fact, I'm actually going to show myself back to my proper location over here. Pull this back on out, as well as get the rest of the stuff up here. So that is it for the first case of Dual Destinies. Yes. We have a lot of work ahead of us, especially. I've got a little bit of work for myself, as I need to get notes finished for the rest of the cases this week, for both Thursday and Saturday. But most importantly, I do want to thank you very much as well for sticking it with me and being a part of this adventure. With that, we are going to go to the end of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. And I do want to thank you very much for sticking around. Go and see who we have available to raid tonight. In fact, it's going over to the proper end screen. Actually, before I do that, we have no further alerts and not much else in the chat. So, I, of course, want to give a huge shout out one final time to the following individuals for coming on out and hanging out with us tonight. Firstly, to Kilometrus for finally following and joining us here at DMA Live. Also, to the members, Ben the Millennium and, of course, Lord Navasa. Thank you very much for lurking out and having a little chat with me while I was recording this first adventure. Next stream will be on Thursday, March 7th, as we will continue the Apollo Justice Trilogy with episode 2 of Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Saturday, we'll be doing the 3rd episode, Turnabout Academy, in that part 10, I should say. And then on Sunday, we'll be back with some Minecraft Survival, as well as a board of directors. For now, I think there's only one person that I can only logically raid, but I need to go on over to my channel first and foremost, so I can go and raid him. So for those of you that are watching, sorry, I gotta shift some things around here. For those of you that are watching and hanging out with us, you can go ahead and raid with the hashtag DMA Live in the chat. Our stream message is hashtag DMA Live sends their regards. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. That's going to be it for us tonight here at DMA Live and the Metro Realm. On behalf of myself and everybody else here, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next adventure.